Nobody's coming in from Facebook today. YouTube is slipping.
I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know.
All right, here we go, fam. What's uppers? Good morning, folks. It's crazy early. I'm surprised that my man Composes up because normally we just be going to sleep about this time. But since retirement from the DJ space, I be up. I be up like old people at McDonald's getting coffee. Anyway, today jumping straight in. Oh, gotta say one more shout out. Gotta say what's up to my brother Doc J. Yo, this kid got me in the business way back in the day when we used to rock up at the E Club and they'd be at the skating rink with Hollywood Tony. Anyway, good to see you, fam. Welcome. So, what I'm finna talk about today, if you don't know, I'm Doc Rock. My YouTube joint is Doc Rock Tips. I like to get in there and help folks out with their tech. And basically, since the situation, I don't like calling it pandemic or none of that mess. It's just the situation. Since the current situation put us in a position where many of us got to do that work from home, right? And maybe your work from home consists of schooling. Maybe your work from home is insurance, real estate, whatever you do. Hey, for some folks, work from home is DJing. Hence, we have the DJ live streaming channel. If you haven't already jumped on, go search DJ Live Streaming in Facebook. You can join the group. You can even invite folks who are not DJs. It's really about folks that love music, that like to catch up on streams. It's a good place to share your streams, share your mix clouds, share your Twitch, wherever you be, so that people can find you. And, instead of just dealing with the folks that you already have in your tribe, hey, you get brand new tribe. Craziest thing happened, like maybe a few weeks back. The dudes from Fever Records, that invented all of the freestyle joints, they were live streaming from the whip, driving around New York, just live. So we're in a new time and space. And so with streaming and Zoom meetings and online class and all of that being the rage, probably the biggest hang up for most folks is not actually cameras and mics and all of that, which we do teach. It actually is your network connection, right? Because there's a lot of variables in network, and a lot of people are having struggles with their Wi-Fi or, having struggles with dropouts or whatever. So I'm here today to give you some tips to help you balance that joint out first, because if you can get your network in order, the rest we can fix. The network is hard, right? And I don't mean it's hard to do. I mean it's hard because there's so many variables, from your company to how many people in your neighborhood are playing Fortnite or watching porn, is what it is. Okay, so we're going to get into talking about some things that you can do to help bolster up your network, get your speed up. And then this is open, so, I'm here to help. So if you have questions, comments, feedback, whatever it may be, feel free to just drop those in the spot. Got to send a shout out to my sis, Eileen. She's another streamer. If you find what I got to say confusing, because I'm just a weird street dude trying to be tech, talk to Eileen. She's been in the game for a minute. 10,000 fans and counting. She's rolling. She's a boss. How you doing, I? Good to see you. Anyway, so work from home networking problems. One of the first things that I like to talk about is probably the one that goes the easiest to do, but it's probably the least done because it's the most forgotten about. Okay, so one thing you need to know about the networking industry, and we're talking your Spectrum, your Verizon, your AT&T, your Sprint, Bright Home and Charter and Spectrum all together now, so they're a little different. Your Xfinity, your Cox cables, like your Rogers if you're up there in Canada, whatever your ISP, your internet service provider, it's a shady business. It's probably one of the shadiest businesses in the planet. Okay, so the first thing you should do is get on the phone, call tech support, and ask them, am I getting what I'm paying for? And that sounds crazy, but this is an industry where, say you on a $50 package And that $50 package is supposed to be 100 megabits per second down and 20 megabits per second up. At the beginning of the year, they'll do something like double that speed, right? They'll say, hey, we're going to give all the new people 20 megabits up and 200 megabits down for $10 cheaper than what you're paying for, that, hey, come and join our team kind of situation. And what they don't do, though, is they don't call you up and be like, hey, John, we got a new package. We're going to just go ahead and move you up for free because you're paying the right clip, but we're not going to give you that slower speed. We're going to bump you up to the next highest. If you got that phone call, you would probably moonwalk across your living room and be like, great, my internet fitting to be faster. But they don't do that. And most people don't know to ask. So, like, if you go to your grandparents' house real quick and check their internet, they might still be on that Roadrunner package from way, way back when the download speed was 10 and the upload speed was 1. And 9 times out of 10, the minimum for just about everybody is like 200 by 20. So sometimes all you have to do is get on the phone and call them and be like, yo, I'm on $100 a month package. What am I supposed to be getting? Now, if you're on Spectrum and you know that you're on that sort of $100 a month package, maybe like $120 a month package, that's actually gigabit Ethernet now. That means you get 1,000 down and 1,000 up. And if you're going to be streaming, that's the package you want. If you don't have that package and your building is capable and you're going to stream for like, I'm trying to make some money out of this, that might be the first investment before you think about buying another camera or upgrading your computer or doing anything. It might be to call up your Spectrum or your Comcast or your Xfinity. I know like Xfinity is a San Diego move, and I got to drop San Diego knowledge because my mentor is up in here. What's up, Steph? How you doing? So yeah, if you're on any one of these guys, give them a call and be like, this is where I am and how much should I be getting for that amount? Because believe it or not, a lot of times you're getting under what you're paying for because they just don't automatically move you when they start giving all of the new cats the new speed, right? So get on the phone and be like, hey, this is Stephanie. Don't make me come over there and, grab somebody because I'm supposed to be getting gigabit Ethernet for the price that I'm paying. So just go ahead and give that a call. Now, Spectrum has been doing it, bumping people up, but it's worth checking. You never know. Or they'll have like, some please don't leave us special, right? So if they get, kind of bossy on the phone, first of all, don't argue with customer support. The best thing to do, I did customer support for 10 years at Apple. Trust me, the best thing to do is be like, okay, thank you, hang up, and call right back and get another person. Because if you caught me after the night that I was working with Compose at the club, I might be horrible on the phone. So just don't fight with customer support. It's really, they'll tag your account and say that you're a jerk and then you never get anywhere. So be like, oh, okay, thank you, hang up, call right back. That's probably the best tip for any tech support, whether it's your car, your house, your plumber, whatever. Don't argue with them. It's a waste of energy. Okay, so after we check the package, okay, that's probably the simplest thing to do. Let me check to make sure we have any questions or comments or anything. How's it going, Alfredo? Gotta say what's up. I appreciate all of you guys for waking up this early in the AM. I'm trying to get my streaming times together, figure out when is the best time to do what. So, there's that. And let me check this real quick, make sure that the YouTube thing is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, yeah, YouTube is complaining. I don't know why, but that's okay. We don't need them. We'll pay attention to you folks. All right, so let me open this up real quick. One of the next things that you should do, we're going to tell you over and over again, is you want to be hardwired, okay? So this right here is your networking situation. This is where you have, like, the way I have mine set up right now, this is what's known as the service order. I have Ethernet popping first. I have my Thunderbolt coming second. And you guys are probably like, what the heck is a Thunderbolt network? I have what's known as a 10 gigabit internal network. And because I do a lot of video editing, a lot of audio editing, so my internal wires from computer to computer to computer is stupid dumb fast, right? I mean, it's hard to explain it, but it's 10 gigabits. So when I was talking about that 1,000 by like 100 up, mine's is 10,000 by 10,000 internally in my office, right? So I can move like, 30, 40 gig files in a blink. And then next is Wi-Fi, okay? And hey, I'm actually on the wrong Wi-Fi network. That's funny. Okay, so what you want to do is go down here and click this little wheel, right? There's a little wheel right here on the bottom, and you want to come down to where it says set service order. And what that's going to do is give you this list, and you're going to move these guys into the right order, right? I'm going to leave Wi-Fi down here because that's where I like it. But you probably want to make sure that you have your Ethernet on the top. Now, those of you guys that are having struggle streaming, the number one struggle for most folks is probably going to be you're streaming off of Wi-Fi. You're not hardwired in, okay? And I know this is a problem for us Mac folk because us Mac folks, we don't have an Ethernet port anymore. If you have a modern Mac, you have USB-Cs all the way around. Take that back. Please don't let me confuse you. You have Thunderbolts all the way around, which is actually faster than USB-C. So what you're going to have to do is either get yourself a dock, not me, the little thing that you plug in the side, and I do have one floating around here somewhere. You're going to get yourself a little dock. That sounds funny when I say that. That you plug the Ethernet cable into, and then that plugs into your computer. Some of them come off as like a little teeny guy about this long, USB-C on one side, Ethernet jack on the other. Others are like a little brick that has the Ethernet port, HDMI, a place to put another hard drive, things like that. So you want to use that. Make sure you hardwire. And you can grab a long cable from Best Buy, Home Depot, Target, whatever, for under 20 bucks. You can get like 100-foot cable, stretch it clean across your house if you have to, okay? The other cool thing is if you are on a Mac and you are trying to do this on a serious note, there are options, right? There's your standard USB-C hub that you plug in that will have the Ethernet, but there's also what's known as a Thunderbolt dock. I am currently using the OWC 14-to-1 port Thunderbolt dock. The advantage of that, the internet connection in the back is way faster. That has a 10 gig Ethernet port in the back. Without getting rocket sciencey, it's 10 times faster than the one that's a 1 gig. That's all you need to know. And then it's dumb fast, okay? So think about getting yourself a professional level Thunderbolt 3 dock versus just getting a standard USB-C hub that's like, 50, 60 bucks, which everybody does because they see it. That's what pops up on Amazon. A lot of people think the ports on the side of the Macs are USB-Cs. They're not. They're Thunderbolt. They're way faster. So most people buy devices that are lower than the capability of their machine because nobody taught them. Eileen, you messing me up, girl. See, I say that too all the time. It's the Thunderbolt dock. Let's see. Patricia said, thought for a minute that I had invented something. Thank you. I don't know why my comments won't stay in the center. Oh, snap. Big ups to my man, Karmic Vince. He said, got Ecamm and the Z6 working great together. There you go. Actually, Vince, I don't know if you noticed, but that Z6 should connect to Ecamm by USB only and be just, flavor. And then let's see. Patricia said, Spectrum called me up, like a wellness check because I've been a Time Warner customer. And they look, yeah, there you go. See, when they became Spectrum, they became much better at doing that automatic bump up and the wellness check. When they were Time Warner, I used to want to hurt folks. But in Hawaii, that was our option. We had two choices. So you guys in the mainland or elsewhere are lucky because you had more than two. But here in the island, we had two. And Time Warner was not the friendliest. And if it wasn't for my brother working there, I probably would have went over there and shook some folks by the collar. I'm joking. I'm a nice guy, in theory. Okay, so after we cover this network order thing real quick, again, very important. If you can hardwire, get your hardwire game up, and then make sure you set that your hardwire connectivity is on the top. And the reason for it being on the top is that is the priority at which your computer will attempt to handle all network connections, okay? So Ethernet on the top, Wi-Fi second. You probably won't have a Thunderbolt bridge, but if you do, hey, you can. That doesn't have to be. As long as Ethernet is on top, Wi-Fi could be higher. I just don't leave it that way for when I'm trying to airdrop something, or if I'm trying to copy something from computer to computer, it knows to grab the Thunderbolt network because it's faster. Okay, moving right along. Ooh, Stream Deck. All right, there you go. That little clicky sound you hear is a Stream Deck, but we'll talk about that on a different. Okay, so now we have that situation under control. What you want to do, we got our package checked out. We got our service order checked out. Next thing you want to do is talk about if you are sitting on an older device. And let's talk about the two major components of your network at the crib. You have a cable modem and then you have a router. Some of you folks, your cable modem is your router. Sorry for you. That's not a good look. And I'll show you how to fix that. That is very easy to fix, and you should separate them if possible. Okay. The reason why the cable companies, they buy these things, en masse. They spend a lot of money. They get special deals for, picking them up. And a lot of times they are of older, slower technology, or they have they'll say that there's no caps, but they'll build it into the modem so that the modem squelches, when you start hog cheese and network. So my theory is always go out and buy your own cable modem. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, this is the current good. This is the Aris Surfboard SB8200. It's a DOCSIS 3.1. This is the key element to remember, the DOCSIS 3.1, but don't get too confused. Just go on to either your Amazon or your B&H, or roll up into Costco or Best Buy, wherever you can go. And the key element that you're looking for down here is that it can handle that 10 gigabits per second, which I was speaking of earlier. And the key here is the 32 by 8, okay? Because you'll see some modems that say 16 by 8, and you'll see some modems that just say 8 channel, and you don't want those, because the more channels that you have, the more data can come through at the same time without fighting. So in other words, if you're trying to do your stream and then somebody's trying to watch Netflix, this cable modem can handle it. But say the stock cable modem they give you, it might not be able to handle it as well. And they're not super expensive. Right now, this one is $149, but it's well worth it, because with your cable package, you're probably paying between, let's say, $5 and $15 a month rental fee on the cable modem that you have. And after 10 months, you should have just bought this. And nobody has internet at their house for just 10 months, right? If you've been paying rental on your cable modem, you've been paying rental on your cable modem for as long as you lived in your house. And that's say $10 a month, $120 a year, and you've been in your house for 20 years, you've been getting robbed, okay? So just buy one of these. And what I do is I tend to swap these out every 2 to 3 years to get the next bump up to whatever is the next great. So this is currently the best in the market. There are other brands out there. I just happen to like Aris because that's what the cable company normally gives you. So when you buy one of these and you bring it home and you plug it in, you basically get on the phone, you call them up at your provider, in my case Spectrum, and say, yo, Spec, I got this new Aris 8200, let's get it linked up. They'll ask you for the MAC address, which is printed on the box, and they'll be like, hey, you're good. Do you want to buy anything else? I don't know why they always ask you that question, but they do. They come back with, do you want to buy anything else? Okay, if you like what you're seeing so far, the way to keep on top of things is to follow the YouTube channel. I normally create these videos. I save them. I post them. They live on YouTube. I'm working on getting my live together on a more frequent basis. Thank you, Stephanie. She's been keeping her foot in the hand pots saying, look, dude, you need to get your S together. So I'm working on that. And so those are mostly present themselves here on Facebook. So make sure, if you're not even on the personal profile, make sure you follow the Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/DocRockStar, all one. And then that way you'll get notified whenever I go live. And the cool part about live is you can ask questions. So Jay, if you have a question, you don't have to wait until we're done. You can pop it out. Same with you, Vince. Eileen knows everything because she's bad. Sorry. Anyway, moving right along. We're going to talk about modems, routers. Here we go. I need a drink. I had an aha moment. Okay. Patricia says, definitely going to check out the RS unit. Man, come on. There you go. Thanks, Patricia. Anyway, let's get over here and talk about routers. So this is what's known as a gaming router. The advantage of a gaming router, say, versus the standard router you have in your house is these are kind of like mini computers, okay? So they have processors in them that take that traffic and they look like that that police in the middle of the Times Square, you know, standing there with the hand and doing the, you know, waving the cars by, that kind of thing. This is what this does. It can prioritize traffic. It knows, because it's a gaming router, that streaming is what, you know, ball is life kind of thing. So it's going to handle that stuff better, okay? The other thing that's cool about this gaming router here, this happens to be one of the best in the business. This is the AC5300 from ASUS. As you know, we in Hawaii, full of Filipinos, like to call it the ASUS. So yes, this is the ASUS router. This guy is bad because not only can it do that mitigating stuff, it has what's known as AI mesh. AI mesh will allow you to add a second booster later to get that speed up and keep it spread around your house. Gaming modems are a good look, okay? I personally, that's not my move. My move would be at the end, because that's how you're supposed to stream. You're supposed to save the good for the end. Keep you folks engaged. So I'll get to that, but this might work for you. And the cool thing again about this is it's very smart, it's very intelligent, and if you do need to add an extender or whatever, the AI mesh situation that's built into the ASUS is a little bit better. The competition for this guy is this Linksys right here, and then that Batwing looking thing that comes from Netgear. I think those two are overrated. So right now, if you are going to buy a gaming router, this is my pick. And you should trust me because I'm a doctor. And I play one on Facebook. Okay, next up in the situation, I always have to give the low budget option, because not everybody is going to spend $350 on the router. You should, but you might not be in that position, and we get that. So whenever I give recommendations, I'm the Cadillac guy. Like, I like to buy the best of the best equipment, because this stuff just changes so fast. I never see going into buying a low one, but if there's possible, I will show you a low one that can do as good as the bad, and then, you know, at least kind of like not let you freak yourself out as to how crazy expensive this can be. This is known as a TP-Link AC1750. That 1750 means that if you were to get a, say, 2 gigabit Ethernet package down, this would handle 1.7 of that, okay? The beast thing I showed you earlier, this one can go up to 5,000. So this could handle a 5 gigabit Ethernet connection. Your through speeds truly aren't going to be that, but you want to have that capability, because when the internet company comes by later and says, okay, we're going to double you up to 2 gig, you want to have a router that's capable of handling it. So if you have one that tops out at like 750, right now you're killing your internet, because your router is slower than your modem can throw at it. So if you have a router that's more than 2 or 3 years old, you probably should get a new one, because there are technologies that have happened since you last bought your router that allow for faster connections, even on the current package that you have. Okay, my English was becoming a second language for a second. So yeah, even with your current package, you might have a router that is squelching your connectivity. You might have a router that isn't very good at mitigating that traffic between someone watching Netflix, someone watching YouTube, and you trying to stream or have a Zoom meeting, or, you know, take that online yoga class. Namaste. So if you have a router more than 2 years old, swap it. Period. End of story. Whether you start with something like the TP-Link 1750 at $70, or you pick one of the other options that I'm picking, that's probably also helping you stay back, even when you're hardwired. So I'm saying, you just told me earlier, dude, to be hardwired, and now you're telling me to change my wireless router. It's the way it handles the traffic inside. So don't sleep on a new situation if possible. And again, people are buying lenses, they're buying lights, they're buying all of this stuff, and your picture's great, but your modem can't send that good picture out to nobody. Not a good look. All right, moving straight along. Now, I'm going to save that one till after this one. Okay. See? Bam. Back to the Fari. This is one of my favorites. This is what's known as mesh networking. You've seen these guys at Costco, Sam Club, BJ's. You've been walking around. You see this always parked in the front, right when you walk in, right next to the big screen TVs that you can't afford. They always have these out front. These are known as mesh routers. The ones you normally see at the box clubs is either Google or Netgear. This is the Eero. Eero is probably the best in the game, but recently Amazon purchased it, and that freaked folks out because, well, Amazon, but this is the best in the business. Now, this particular one that I'm showing you is what's known as the Eero Pro. Now, basically, what goes on with these guys is they're super simple to set up. Like, 10-year-old niece Emma could set this up by herself. Literally, you plug them in, it asks you a bunch of questions on your phone, and you're off to the races. So this is the professional version that happens to be a little bit quicker as opposed to the regular version. Let me scroll down here. This is the regular version is $99 a pop. The pro version is $199 a pop. And these are the external beacons. You need basically one master unit, which is one of these two. And then you add these beacons or other units of the same around the house, and they create a mesh. So think of a mesh as that old school neighborhood system, right? You know, the hootie hoos, where somebody at the end of the block, someone's coming, they ooh, and the other person goes ooh, and then they pass it down, and then eventually the person at the opposite end knows what's going on. That's what the mesh router does. It basically like creates that 3-triangle gossip situation like my sisters. So it spreads it around and divides it up and allows you to have a really strong connection because they're lifting the weight together as a team. So instead of having really strong signal on the left side of the house and the right side of the house being weak, and even better than the old school, just add a rangefinder or a range extender in the middle, these guys create a mesh like a web, right? And the mesh is currently probably one of the best situations you can do in the Wi-Fi. Now, this is going to come in handy for someone, again, who's in a position where they might not be able to hardwire, but they want the best look. Because what you could do is add a beacon into the place, your room, your office, like my situation right here. I would put a beacon in my office, which would put it close to all of my devices, and therefore I will be able to maintain some relatively decent speeds. On the Pro version, I don't know if you noticed this, but it actually has a place for me to put a hardwired cable. So it can grab the signal from the sky, but then hardwire that signal to the computer, which again is a more stable connection, even though the mesh part is Wi-Fi. Hard to get into that. It's a little crazy, but it does work, okay? So moving along from the mesh is a good look. And it's kind of a very easy way to do this stuff, and it's a good situation. But the good thing to know about the Pro can handle 500 megabits per second or half a gig, and the regular one can handle 350. So although the regular one's a good look, it might be a little bit slower than what you want. Okay. Now, I don't know why that didn't come through, but Patricia said somehow Ecamm did not catch up with the comment, but I'll just say what Patricia said. Patricia said, I want to be able to hang out on the back deck and still get good signal. Now, pay attention to your boy, because I'm finna get into that, because that's how I roll, right? Oh, see, I love it when the right question comes at the right time. It's what's known as a segue. I know, folks. I need to grab a quick drink. Hold on. Boom. If you're wondering how we're doing all of this stuff, this is all being done using my favorite program, Ecamm. So Ecamm allows me to do my streaming and then put these comments and stuff up, and put my own graphics, little overlays, my intro, all of that stuff. That's all being done by Ecamm. You can check that out with the link there. Of course, I will put that in the description later. And then also, all of these recommendations will be on my Amazon shop. It's just amazon.com/shop/DocRock. And the advantage of going through that link is I've already organized the list, so you can just buy what I recommend. But you do me a favor because, well, it's an Amazon affiliate link. So I get a little money at no cost to you, but it helps support the channel. So there you go. My commercial is over. Back to the mission at hand. I really don't know why Ecamm comments not coming through, but lucky Restream chat is doing what it do. Okay, so this is Unify. I am a deep Unify fan, and they started, I want to say, about 5 years ago. And what happened, Unify team basically are guys from the old Apple airport clique, right? So when they left and they created Unify, the other half of the team left and they created Eero. So the two best like internet things that you can buy to bolster internet in your house are former Apple products. And the reason why they became so popular is because of their skills from being when they were at Apple before Apple gave up the airport program. If you remember airports, they were very easy to set up. They were basically plug and play. They didn't require a lot of work, right? So these guys like, how can we get into commercial level enterprise network and make it simple for folks, right? So they took what was the crazy Cisco type stuff and they created it in a manner that small business people or even people at home who wanted to have a commercial level network can do this without any hassle. 1 second. So basically what this is they're showing you an example how these guys can basically wire a stadium. If you've been to a modern basketball or football game or baseball game and you're walking around the arena, you can basically be on the Wi-Fi throughout the whole thing. And where I fell in love with this is I was at the Moda Center in Portland. I was going to go watch that Dame time, and the network there was just ridiculous. Like, it was so fast, and no matter where you were in the stadium, you were connected. And then so I started looking into it, and I found out that they were basically being run by Unify. And I go, well, from the looks of things and from the look of this dashboard and from the look of, their interface, this stuff must be crazy expensive. Look, mouse, stop messing up. I'm going today to buy a new mouse because this mouse is driving me batty. So as I saw all of this, I'm like, this stuff must be crazy expensive and super hard to set up. But then I find out I was wrong. Okay, so here's how you start your Unify system. Now, that first package that I showed you, that gaming router, that guy was like $350, right? Let me double check that. Yeah, it's $270. Sorry. The Netgear one is more like $350. What I'm going to show you will probably cost close to $350, but it's enterprise level. And that means like it's designed to handle heavyweight traffic and flow. And a couple of the access point I'm going to show you, Patricia, they're waterproof. They're actually designed to be outside. Okay, so you could put one on the tree in the backyard or stick a small one on the corner of the deck, and you could be outside sipping syrup and enjoying yourself. Having a cup of coffee, having that Chardonnay or, a Shiraz. I like Shiraz, a little Pinot, whatever. You could be on the back deck, completely enjoying yourself with really good connection. I just helped a friend of mine set this up because they have a tree house in their backyard. And you can go to the top of that tree house and still be on the Wi-Fi. So let me show you how the pieces roll. The first one here is what's known as a gateway. In enterprise world, gateway means router. So I will use those words interchangeably, but it's basically, it takes the single connection in and divides it up to as many devices as possible. Okay. What's nice about this particular unit is it has a WAN port. That's the signal coming in from your cable provider. And then it has a LAN port, which is what you create the network in your house. But then it has a second one to either create another WAN in, so you could actually have two internet providers and stick those guys together. So like you wanted to have really dumb fast and you could afford it, you could actually get one from Spectrum and one from Xfinity and bind those two suckers together to have just like ridiculously dumb fast internet. Or you could create two separate networks. So you can have LAN 1, which is what the family uses to do all of their stuff. And LAN 2 is like, this is my network. Leave me alone. Nobody connected this. Nobody bothered this. This is my separate one just for streaming. So that's why this is cool, because that's stuff that you can do with commercial stuff you can't normally do with consumer stuff. The other thing that's really cool about this is you can create virtual networks. So once you have it set up, you can have a network that's, again, all of the equipment tied to your streaming that's not tied to the rest of the house, okay? So this is the router, this is the gateway. It pops in at like 125. Then you get to your access points. This is the Wi-Fi side of things. I prefer my Wi-Fi separate from the router. You see the Batwing thing that looks like this? There's the Wi-Fi and the router, they're one piece. If the radio in the Wi-Fi goes dumb, the entire thing is broken. You have to swap the entire thing. When the powers that be say we got a new Wi-Fi protocol, remember we were on A and then B and then G and then N and then AC. You know, those little words you saw at the end of 802.11, those were progressively faster protocols. So when the powers that be, ISO or whatever, says, hey, we're going to make a faster protocol, if you have that one piece spider unit, it doesn't have that protocol, you're done. You got to throw that away and get another one. If you have an access point, you can just get a new access point that accepts the faster protocol and you're good. So I like mine separated. They're much easier to manage, a lot more powerful because of heat and power and things like that, or electricity by power, I mean. And again, these things are amazing. Waterproof, can be outside. They're made for enterprise. So this is what I have set up. I have two of these. This one, and I have the bigger pro version, which is probably not on this page, but basically the advantage of this is the range is stupid dumb. Like these guys top out at about 700 feet range, which is huge considering most ones you find in the house don't go that far. The next piece that you would add to this, this is the pro one. This is the bigger one. It holds faster. It has gigabit Ethernet ports in the back. Again, waterproof. You can put this on a pole, put this in the top of your house and like blanket your whole house. Now, these are the little guys that also are available. This is a access point, but these ones are kind of like literally you can just plug this guy into the power. It will smell the rest of the network. It will connect itself and it will make your network repeat. So you can put the one access point in one room and put these all the way around. They even have what's known as the end wall unit, which looks like a plug basically, and you can stick it on the wall. It's almost like a light switch, and that light switch becomes a Wi-Fi access point. Think of like in-wall speakers at the doctor. When you go up and you see, when you're laying in the dentist chair and you see the speaker in the ceiling, that's an in-wall speaker. They actually have in-wall access points, so you can hide everything and make it look dope, okay? And then you don't have wires and stuff coming all over the place because these normally use what's known as power over Ethernet. So the cable that goes in the back also provides the electricity. So if you can hide that one cable, you don't have to hide a cable plus, a power supply. It's just one single piece. So like I basically ran the zip line in my wall. I stuffed all the cables in the wall, put drywall tape, spackled that bubby shut, and then painted it. And so it just looks flush on the wall like a smoke detector. Okay. So the last piece of that, if you want to, is you would add a switch. What the switch would allow you to do is to basically press the button. Dude, I was showing you guys stuff without even showing you guys stuff. So this switch would allow you to plug into one of the guys and still give you hardwire ports so that you can hardwire in. So the advantage of, again, a commercial network, again, first starting out, it might set you back about $350, but you can expand upon that immensely. So like this switch right here has 8 ports, but you can go as stupid as like a 48 port switch, because this is what you normally see, at school or at work or in that back closet. So you could get dumb with this, right? And it sounds like overkill, but I was explaining to folks when I was doing hey, stop that, Amazon. I was explaining to folks when I was doing this as a practice, sit back and take an inventory of what in your house or what in your office is actually talking to the internet. You will be surprised, okay? So I was doing like a little just random inventory in the brain. you think of computers right away, right? So we got the 2 iMacs, 2 Mac Minis, 2 MacBook Pros, and server. Okay, yeah, that covers the computers. And then you get into 2 Apple TVs, 2 Fire Sticks, 4 TVs. Every one of the TVs can talk to the internet. Xbox, PlayStation, old school Xbox. Both amplifiers talk to the internet. 5 Alexas. Sorry, don't say that out loud. So it'll make people's, the A lady, we'll call her, it'll make people's devices start triggering. We got like 5 A ladies. And then the one that most folks forget about, I have 55 Hue light bulbs. So every single one of those joints is connected. And the lock, the door lock, the Nest, what do you call that thing? Smoke detectors, the Apple Watches, the iPhones, the iPads. This is all in one single house with 2 people in it. So for those of y'all with like, baseball squad level kids, do an inventory of how much things in your house actually talking to the internet. You will be surprised. And then so when you're streaming, like everyone goes, oh man, Ecamm was glitchy or Skype was glitchy. It might not be that, fam. It might be you have close to 40, 50 things connected to the internet at one time and you don't know which device is doing what. So with these higher end routers, the gaming router, the TP-Link, the Unify, you can say when I am connected, give all of my internet juice to this guy. Like, I want this to be priority. That's known as QoS, or quality of service. Patricia, Bluetooth speakers themselves, not necessarily, because the Bluetooth connection is a different type of thing. But some Bluetooth speakers, like my Sony's, they actually do have network connections because they can also be connected to via AirPlay, in which case they are using part of your network, but they're fighting internal traffic. So that's still, it's a good point. Like people are, hey, my wash machine connects to the internet because I can check the dryer when I'm on the road. I don't know why, but that's what LG said. I've never used that feature, but it came with it because the dude at Lowe's caught me on one of my buy the best thing you can buy days. Anyway, so back to the program and not my estranged shopping habits. The last thing in the Unify situation is what's known as a cloud key. Now, this is the new modern cloud key. It's a little bit more expensive. They do have an older version which would work, which is this guy down here. The advantage of a cloud key, and this is optional, you don't really need it. See this right here, folks? This is my life in Hawaii. Something as simple as a cloud key, they can't ship it to Hawaii, which is BS because I have one. So somebody will do it. Anyway, something as simple as what this cloud key does is it allows you to have access to your network from anywhere. You could be on vacation and check on your stuff. You could be in the house and check on your stuff. Okay. Yep. Patricia brings up another good point. Don't forget about the new doorbells. Why is my chat not working? Ecamm. It's always Restream chat too, but good thing I got a backup. Anyway, so what this cloud key does is allows you to log into your devices whenever you're not like in the house. You can monitor traffic. You can fix problems that come up, update firmwares. You can do all of the small things. So I'll show you a quick look at what this looks like. These are my networks. I actually even manage networks for people that are not mine. They're being my client list. So it shows up. So this is going to basically talk to my cloud key, and it's going to go grab what's popping off in the back end. So I can see right now, just to show you power of what's going on here, I am streaming to you guys right now. I am sending signal to YouTube at 4K, and I'm only taxing my internet by 4%. Okay, it knows that I have these 3 switches, right? These are my switches. This is the gateway. The gateway is Jarvis. And then the switches are Ant-Man, which is the small switch, and then Edith and Friday. And these little bubbles right here tell me that I have updates that I need to do. But if I go in and look at my wired components, that's those. And then there's my 2 access points. There's Wakanda and Hydro Base. You guys are probably catching a little theme right here. I'm a Marvel head. But it shows me my traffic. It shows me my throughput. And again, I'm still getting 98% like full on connectivity while blasting the stream to you guys. Okay? With no problems whatsoever. My internet is able to handle that. And again, like a dummy, because I always forget to switch it back off from doing a desktop recording, I'm sending traffic to YouTube at 4K, which I shouldn't have done. I always forget to switch it, which is why I asked Ecamm to let me record at one and stream at the other, but that's a different conversation. So it is very possible for you to like get your internet connection a lot more stable than what you're doing right now. Again, run through the rundown real quick. From the beginning, check your cable, right? Make sure that you're hardwired if you can. If you can't hardwire, there's other situations that we can do to help you, which I will come back to in one more second. Next thing to do, check your package. Call your company, make sure you're getting what you're supposed to get. Be like, this is what I'm paying, this is what I want. Am I getting that? Okay? Then, after you check your package, you want to go in and check your service order. Service order. You want to look at your networking back end, make sure you have Ethernet on the top, Wi-Fi second, or somewhere else in that list. So that way, when you are hardwired, you're getting that good cable connection because of the hardwire, less dropouts, less problems. And people say, well, I have this fast Wi-Fi and I normally have no problems yet. Okay? You just didn't have a problem yet. It's just like you never crashed your car yet. Trust me, put the cable in there. It's the best way to do it. Okay. Then your options are gaming router, mesh network. That unified stuff I'm talking about is a mesh network on a commercial level scale. It's probably the best way to go. There is a competing company recently out from the guys that used to be at Cisco called pfSense, and they have great stuff too. But I would tell you, go unified because it was Apple engineers, and so their stuff is just really good. How you doing, Robert? Sorry I can't pop the comment right now. My chat situation broke, but hey, I still love you no matter what. Okay, let me show you one last thing. If you happen to be in a situation where you can't run a cable across the room, somebody's going to trip, it's dangerous, it's not your house, whatever it may be, power line adapters are the rule. Okay, what this allows you to do is put one next to your modem and one next to your desk. And in most cases, the wiring throughout your house is all connected in a large circuit. So what it will allow you to do is the internet will go into the first box, say here on the left, and it will go through all the copper wiring inside your house and come out the other room out of that plug or outlet or jack or socket. You guys all use different words. And mains for my people in the UK. It'll come out of that and go into the other side of this box, get deciphered and sent to your computer as Ethernet. So when you can't hardwire, it's very possible that you can use this to get that across. And they do come in different speeds. So try not to get the 1000s because that's not future-proofing yourself. I don't want you to say like, oh, but there's, a double the price difference. Is for a reason. The advantage to these guys are they will be able to handle any updates that the networking companies or the ISPs will throw at us in the near future. So again, check out your power line adapters if you find yourself in a situation where you can't necessarily hardwire. Okay, this will allow you to hardwire because it will run through the copper wiring in your house. And actually, when I first started, that's how I did it. I did it with power line adapters because I was in a rental unit that didn't allow me to cut and dig and draw wires all through my walls. Now, if you happen to be in a situation where you're building an addition or your house is being built, ask them to put all this stuff in. Do it while you got the walls open. Drop your wires in. If you notice at Home Depot now, a lot of the Decora AC outlets will have outlet Ethernet, right? So if you're fixing up a room or remodeling the bedroom or the bathroom or whatever,
just go ahead and wire Ethernet port in while you got it open. The electrician's already there. They're not going to charge you much more to do it because it's already open. And you never know what you're going to connect. Like, I never thought I wanted an Ethernet port in the bathroom, but now I would love to have an Ethernet port in my bathroom. So if you are doing any remodeling or whatever, take that opportunity to fill your walls with Ethernet cable. Go for Cat 6 in-wall plenum jacket. That means that it's fire rated, and you will be happy. Whether you need it or not, put it there because it will probably come up later, and you'll be like, woo, so happy that I put it in. Okay? So check this real quick. Nothing there. YouTube is still being funny. I'm Doc Rock. I hope this information helped you out in some way, shape, or form. I hope you can find a way to get your network speeds up. I am always available for questions, comments, any feedback, anything you want to throw out there. Just go and check it out. Again, I'll pop it up once again. It's youtube.com/DocRock. That is me. You will find me there. You can also hit me up directly on Facebook, send me a private message or find me in the Ecamm community. Again, I would like to remind you that all of the stuff I talked about is available here on my Amazon shop. So just amazon.com/shop/DocRock. That's DOCROCK. Don't forget the K. It's very important. Thank you, Robert. Robert said, great job as always. Thank you, Robert. Really appreciate you always coming through. But yeah, gang, seriously, like your network connection is probably the biggest part of your streaming setup, and everyone's talking about cameras and lights. Me too. I'm guilty. I'm a camera guy. So I'm like, yeah, get your Sony 6400, get your Sigma 16, 1.4, and get your good lights on, and yeah, I'm all about that stuff. I'm all about, learning from Stephanie how to get your show notes together, how to do your posts, how to do your, chop up your video after. Like, all of these things are important. But if you had a brand new Ferrari and no roads, what you finna do? I'm just saying, right? So get your stuff together in your network situation and let's work from there. Because in theory, you can stream with an iPhone. You can just plug this bad boy in and you're good. But you can't stream from an iPhone if your network is in not good condition. So let's get that tightened up. If you have any questions at all, hit me up. And before I forget, I am working on getting the mail list game up. So I will put links in the descriptions for all of this stuff. So you guys that are here, follow back and then come and check out the email list. Or you could just message me directly, say you want to be on the list. I'll manually add you, because what I want to be able to do is create like a newsletter and just send us, little tips here and there as they come to me. And I might not have a chance to get a video out. So when there's something like a hot sale going on, or like my homegirl Stephanie is doing a giveaway where she's giving away a year of Restream Pro, and it's like, I would be able to share that with you. Let me find that link real quick. I had it and I lost it. Sorry. Hold on 1 second, folks, because a chance to win that Restream Pro thing, come on, son. That's like a $580 value. So I know she's probably not listening right now, but she would appreciate me sharing it with you. So let me send you a link so you can go and check it out. And again, if you need some more help and you want somebody that explains stuff a little bit different than me or just better looking than me, go hit up Eileen. She's in the chat right now. She has lots and lots of fantastic information. So make sure you hit her up. Here we go. Let me copy that link and I'll paste it in the chat. For you guys that are here now, go and check this out and follow Miss Stephanie and get your chance to win some, Restream, because that's what I'm using right now to talk to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. But yeah, guys, if you have anything, any questions, comments, feedback, you need some help, holler at your boy and I'll do what I can. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me early on a Saturday morning. For me, it's 8:01. For y'all, it's probably like lunchtime. So I'm going to let you go have lunch and we'll see you again soon. Aloha.